Good evening, friends. We'll start with today's session. We have started discussing about H.A. Roberts' philosophy, the principle and art of cure by homeopathy, and chapter number 3, the vital force. Everyone will consider why it is so much necessary to go with those concepts. But unless we are clear with our concepts, it is not possible to practice homeopathy. That's what Robert has said. The same has been said by the Kent also, even Stuart Close also. Because the concepts should be very clear in our mind when we deal with the dynamics. Generally, it happens that when we born and when we start learning, we learn the material science and material mathematics. That's all. Thoughts are very fixed in our mind. We know 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 and 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. But we don't know that 1 plus 1 is equal to anything in dynamics. This is absolutely new for us when we start learning homeopathy. And for that purpose, the concepts of dynamics should get very clear in our mind. Once they are clear, then it will be quite easy for everyone to practice homeopathy. Then you will understand the dynamic human being in a better manner. And that's why, to understand that dynamics, the whole thing revolves around the concepts of vital energy, vital force, vital principle. And those he started explaining about it. And he explains that without vital force, there is nothing like a life. So vital force is the unique thing which gives the animation to the body, and he has defined the same definition as Hahnemann have defined. In the 6th edition of Organon, in the 9th aphorism, what he says is in the healthy condition of man, the spiritual vital force, the dynamics that animates the material body, rules with unbounded sway and retains all the parts of the organism in a harmonious, admirable, harmonious vital operation as regards both sensations and functions, so that our indwelling reason gifted mind can freely employ this living healthy instrument for higher purposes of our existence. And this definition we have learned in yesterday's lecture. Let us go ahead with the next paragraph on page number 35 in my book. So open your book and start. We are prone to think of attain life as composed of these three matters. So which are three matters? Three matters are nothing but the mind, body, and soul, which make it a trinity. But we must remember also that life is a unity from its inception. So these are three things we are considering different, but they are not different. They are unique. They are combined together. Only for our sake we are differentiating them. When the two parent cells are united, that vital principle, the vital energy is already present. The ego of the completed cell does not change one iota. One iota after once beginning its process. Iota means a smallest particle, atom. It is nothing but the atom, or which is also called as, in Marathi we call anu, very small, smallest particle. The ego of the completed cell does not change one iota after once beginning its process. It has in itself and of itself the power to develop the cells, the physical, because of the continual flowing through them, the vital energy which dominates the whole. It has within itself the power to develop muscles, nerves, brain, cells, individual in themselves, gifted with the powers of specialized uses in future. Yet these are all the part of the whole man. And while we have in each individual infinite powers of development, unless the ego in its initial stage is energized and capable of development, it will never grow to its highest capacity. Without this vital energy, the cell, the whole body becomes inanimate and is dead. It is only when vital energy is present that there is a living organism capable of physical action and of the exercise of mental powers and the ability to take hold on the spiritual forces. If you will understand this paragraph in detail, then you will understand the concept of vital force very clearly. We'll take a simple example. How the human bonds. The parent cells unites together. The sperm from the father the ovum from the mother unites together and forms an egg. It has its own vital force for a certain time that has been carried, and that's why it remains live for a certain period. It, if vital principle enters inside it, then and then the further development of that fertilized egg starts. If it never enters, it remains as a blighted ovum, which is called to be a false pregnancy. The egg is there, the fertilized egg is there, but which doesn't have capacity to develop. It never develops, it remains as it is and thrown away later by the body. Why it has not developed? Only the reason that vital principle have not entered, which is solely responsible to give the automatic vital energy, and vital energy is ultimately expressing force, and because of which further development starts. Vital principle has its own ego, identity. Ego means here the question of identity comes. It is an identity given to that specific fertilized egg once the principle enters over there. So every human being is nothing but a separate identity, because every human being's vital principle is different. In another word, we label it by the name of soul. So every individual soul or vital principle is different, and that's when everyone's ego is different. And that's why everyone develops as a different human being. There is a universalism, even though you can find it out the diversity. Two important things: everyone carries the same organs. Everyone carries the two eyes, the one nose, the mouth, and two ears, and two hands, and two legs, and all those things. Everyone carries the same. But every individual is different. And why it is different? Because basically the vital principle of every individual is different. And if it is different, it has its own ego. That's what he has said. It has its own ego. And development of this white fertilizer happens to be
Hello?
later.
Ah, huh? Oh, shit. Bitches.
So development of it happens according to the ego of that vital principle. I will let you know very clearly. There is called to be a law of biological development. I have told you this law to you. Functions creates organs. This is simple biology law of biological development. So what it means? The cell is fertilized, egg is fertilized, and there is a fertilized egg. Cells are same, called as a primitive cell or called as a stem cell. Then, when the vital principle enters inside it, the functions are defined, and then it starts multiplying. Then it goes into multiplication 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32. In this way, they starts dividing. And then for certain cells, it has been defined that you have to function like a brain. Another cells, it has been defined that you have to perform like function of eyes. The functions are defined first, and accordingly, the same cell starts changing in itself. Then it gets converted into specialized cells. If one cell is converted into brain, it takes its own form, and then it starts functioning like a brain. But origin is same. And that's why modern science has mentioned the law of biological development, and functions creates the organs. Who defined the function? Question arises, who has defined this function? It is this vital principle which has entered inside, has its own ego, defines the function. And that's why it develops as a unique individual according to its own function. See, if you understand this concept of vital force, how it gives the birth on the basis of law of biological development, then you will understand that everything develops right from center to periphery. It is not like making a car. Someone brought the certain parts, the doors, someone bought, someone brings the body, someone prepares the machine, someone prepares the tire, and then they are united and car is prepared. When you think about human being, it is not like that. It is right from the same cell it evolves and it develops on the basis of law of biological development. If this concept is clear, then you will understand whatever develops in your body is correlated with each other because they are part and parcel of the same cell. Even though the cell of brain has in clear communication with the brain of lungs, brain of cells of brain are in communication with the cells of lungs are in close relation with the cells of kidneys because they are part and parcel of the same cell. They are changed, their appearance and functions and development because functions are defined prior. If it is so, then you will understand that development of human being is right from center to periphery. In the similar manner, if it is going in healthy direction and something happens, and if this vital force itself is getting disturbed, then it happens at the center and disease develops at the periphery. If you understand this concept that disease develops from center, expresses at the periphery, then you must know how to treat that disease, where to treat, whether to treat at periphery or whether to treat at center. Because if you treat the periphery, the disease will remain as it is in the center, which will not get cured. If you treat or if you go on treating the peripheral part, the cancer, there is a recurrence because you have not treated the center. For that purpose, those concepts should be very clear in everyone's mind. Then it is possible to understand homeopathy. And this is what he is explaining in that paragraph, that if you understand this concept of vital force, then you will understand the further disease process. No two individuals are alike. What he says further, two individuals are alike. That's what we know. The development of vital energy in one differs from in another. And it is because of which there is a difference in every person. Each one possesses special personality and a special psychophysical construction, which is determined by the interplay of heredity tendencies and factors of disease. So everyone carries a different gene. Everyone carries their own personality. Everyone carries their own physique. Everyone carries their own mental state. Everyone carries their own temperament. And that's why two individuals are not at all alike. Because the original vital force in each and every individual is different. The growth and development of each individual progresses as it draws upon the physical energy and upon the dynamic energy as it is manifest in the brain and upon the spiritual energy. So every person carries those energies and accordingly that individual develops. It varies from individual to individual. And second important thing, it depends upon what he carries from the past generation. It depends upon what traits you have carried from your parents. That's why he has used one word, spiritual energy. Every man born with certain spiritual aspects. That energy is brought from your parents, and accordingly your development happens. How you are, it depends upon how your parents are. Because that has been carried. That is the original memory which is carried forward. Further development depends upon many factors, but most important, the innate, inner is very important. These different manifestations of energy are essentially different in their workings. The law of growth is same in one as in another. The mingling of these expressions of energy is united personally is the united personality, and when the energy functions properly in all three manifestations of the whole personality grows harmoniously. For the energy is the powerhouse and supplies the impetus of growth for the whole economy and whole individual. Impetus means pravek, chalna dena. So this energy which is there inside is responsible for the development. So it has been defined over there that how much time there will be a growth, how much time that or how much height this person will going to achieve, how much development this person will going to achieve, and then it runs up to that level, and then it stops, and then further development and evolution of that human being happens. But who is prior to it? It is only vital energy or vital force which is prior to it, and because of which every individual looks different and performs in a different manner. When the energy functions improperly, there is a greater growth on one plane than on another, and personality is not symmetrical as in its development. So, if during the development, if vital force or vital energy is disturbed, then there is no symmetrical development. There might be some faults in the development. So there might be some excess in some part, there might be some less in another part. And this asymmetrical presentation can be possible when disturbance of vital energy happens during the phase of development. So ultimately, whole development of the human being depends upon the vital force. The nature of energy is dynamic. And this dynamics penetrates every particle, every cell, every atom of the human economy. Any disturbance of this vital energy or force results in disfigured or disturbed development of the whole human economy. So there are, whatever the energy is there, which has been carried from the nature. The development depends upon that energy which you carry from the nature. First important thing is the oxygen, which gives you energy. The light or sunlight provides you an energy. The diet, food provides you an energy. These are the sources. The water itself is an energy which are carried from the nature, and the development is going on. So vital energy inside you is dependent upon all those factors which are present in the universe. By some reason, if anything happens related with those energies, then definitely the development of the human economy gets disturbed. If you'll see there is a problem in the food at the Melghat, see the children who are dwarfished, having kwashiorkor, protein energy malnutrition over there. Why? Because they are not getting the energy from the food source, which is from the nature. They are not getting proper proteins. That's why they are like that. The body is disfigured, disturbed. So we carry this vital energy from the nature itself. And this, if it runs in harmony, you are healthy. If it gets disturbed, you go into the disturbed development of whole human economy. Such a disturbance may come from prenatal influences. See, now he explains the how disease develops, why disease develops, how this vital energy can get disturbed. Simple examples he is mentioning over there. Such a disturbance may come from prenatal influences. Prenatal means just before pregnancy or during pregnancy, such as effects of sudden fright. It may be caused by indulgences on the part of either or both parents at the time of conception. So at the time of conception, if anything goes wrong, at the time of conception, there is some fright happen, anything, because of any reason. If it happens, it used to produce a problem. It used to disturb the vital energy of that person. And once the vital energy is disturbed, it reflects in the disturbed economy, reflects in the form of disease. And he is explaining this whole concept. So fright is the dynamic entity. Nothing material enters inside your body. But just that fright, either in one of parent or both parents, at the time of conception, leads or develops faults in the fertilized egg. So everything was fine, the eggs were fine, the sperms were fine, but fertilized egg had developed some malformation because there was an effect of the environmental entity or something happened at the mental level reflected in the fertilized egg, producing disfigurement. These are the many reasons which one has to take into consideration while understanding the disease development or understanding why such types of congenital malformation develops. So effects of fright might be one of the reasons. It may be caused by indulgences on part of either or both parents at the time of conception. Indulgences means, for example, alcoholism. It is not so common. It was not so common in India, but now it is becoming common. It is becoming common in both partners. And if it is so, at the time of conception, the indulgences, the alcoholic drinks or drugs which are taken, it ultimately reflects in the fertilized egg. The harmony is disturbed at the time of conception, leads toward the disease and may lead toward the congenital disorders. He is explaining very thorough understanding of the how disease processes develops and why disease develops at the time of conception. So sudden fright or indulgences during time of conception. The cause may lie in the excessive worry during gestation. Third important thing, excessive worry during gestation. Very important entity. Excessive worry at the gestation means you have to understand this history of the mother during pregnancy, even you are dealing with the child. Because some causes are hidden in the mother's history that reflected in this child as a disorder. And that's why you have to understand all those dynamic concepts. And these dynamics reflects in the form of disorders even in children. So the cause may lie in the excessive worry during gestation. It may be due to the hereditary stigma of either one or both of the parent cell, which may perhaps be due to the hereditary diseases or myasm. So there might be another history of hereditary disorder. For example, one the mother is having hemophilia carrier. In her blood, it is X-linked disorder. She carries it, and that has been transmitted in this child, and child is male and suffers from hemophilia. See, any congenital disorders or disease, it's transmitted to the next generation, and there might be possibility that it may express itself either in the same manner, either in an exaggerated manner. Sometimes it might be changed in its presentation, it becomes mild also, because it is mutation. So these things which we have to understand. It may be due to the hereditary stigma of either one or both of the parent cell, which may perhaps be due to the hereditary diseases or myelin, like an indelible brand. The warping of this dynamic energy is stain that will not out. Warping means विकृत होने. So this is very important, the things which are carried from the past generation. If one carries the syphilitic trait from the past generation, either of one parent is having syphilis during time of gestation, but it was in tertiary stage, latent stage, and they had a issue, and this child is born syphilis. Child is born with syphilis. There might be a teeth in the mouth, one of the manifestations of the syphilis in the infant at the time of birth. Whole body is having the rash or whole body is full of eruptions. One of the indications of the syphilis disease and it was carried from the past generation. Most difficult stigma. Some children born with the congenital malformation. Someone might have a cleft palate, someone might have a Fallot's tetralogy, someone might have imperforated anus, someone might have a myelomeningocele. These are the disorders which are carried from the past generation and these are most difficult to treat, and where the dynamic energy is so disturbed that it creates a problem. And this is the reason which we have to understand why at the time of birth the children are brought or children are born with a congenital malformation. So concept of vital force, if we understand, then we'll understand the miasm, then we'll understand how to go ahead with those. So I think it's better to stop over here and we'll continue with it in tomorrow's session. Most probably within 2 days, we'll finish this vital force chapter, gives us a thorough understanding about the human being and the disorders of human being. Robert, being an intelligent person, tries to make it simplified and make it clear in your mind the concepts, how the disorder develops, why the congenital disorder develops, and all those things matters a lot when we treat the disorder. So that's all for today. Today evening, we're going to learn very important remedy from our Materia Medica, the Conaim maculatum at 8 o'clock. Don't miss a lecture because Conaim is a very big remedy and very useful remedy in our day-to-day practice. So we will going to learn, it is a big remedy. I don't think that it will be possible to finish it in one lecture. Maybe it requires 2 or 3 lectures. So that's all for today. We'll meet again at,
Sir,
yes, Utpal.
sir, actually, this last para we have read, is actually correlated with the Mahabharata. So this Dhritarashtra and Vidur, and in that case it is correlated. So this is very fine para. I have also read this one. So one thing I want question regarding gestational period, sir, worry and other things. What age in case of children should we consider, up to 12 or 18, or in whole life you can consider this?
No, I could not get your question properly.
So gestational abnormality in mind of mother. So or during conception, this worry or any other things in children up to which age at 12 or 18, or throughout year we can consider that.
No, basically, small children, when you are dealing with the children, specifically up to the 5 years of age, you must take this history. This is more important because the disease develops after gestation. Uh, if there is a cause which lies in the mental state of the person, then it has a significance. Big children or younger ones, there is no need because it is already a big period has been passed and that the disorders never reflects it so late. If it is related with the pregnancy or state of mother during pregnancy, then they reflects in earlier age. It is below 5 years of children. If there are any diseases, you must take the history of mother during gestation.
But sir, one thing, one patient I have recently um, I've taken history, and old mother was patient was about 45 years, and what mother was telling that he has a fear, same fear was there in my during my pregnancy. So what should I consider this one or not, sir?
See what here?
He has a fear during pregnancy. Mother has fear. He has got
Fear.
a late concept.
Fear.
Fear.
Huh.
Uh,
Huh.
So in 48, age of 45,
Huh.
at the age of 45, same fear is there, and mother was telling that
Okay,
I
but
was same
then
fear
you have
during.
to take into consideration what fear is there. Then you have to find it out remedy on the basis of fear.
Okay,
What
sir.
type of fear
Thank you,
it
sir.
is?
Actually, mother was conception was late after 6 years of marriage, and she was worried that conception has continued or not, and throughout the 9 months she was in fear.
So there was an anxiety. It was not fear.
Yes,
Okay, that anxiety is there, but what is there any relation of that anxiety with the patient's present state?
yes, it was there. It was there. It is there, sir.
What's there? What's that? That's what I am asking.
there is no confidence. There every time he is getting fear of anxiety, everything.
Then
Anxiety about health, anxiety about future, anxiety about money matter. Everything is there.
you take those symptoms as it is and find it out a remedy. There is no need of why it is needed. The child is not able to give you the history. That's why you need the mother's history during pregnancy. It is an adult who is able to give you history, you can find it out remedy on the basis of that only. There is no need to go further because you are getting whole symptoms. Just find it out totality and repertorize it and find it out a right remedy. It is needed when
Yes, sir.
child is not able to give the history. Then history of mother during pregnancy matters a lot.
Yes, sir. But in that case, 45, I will not consider.
No need.
Yes,
You
yes, sir.
have the
Yes, sir.
symptoms, there
Thank
is
you.
no need. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll meet at night at 8 o'clock. And from tomorrow, I want to shift the little bit timings. Instead of 5:45, lectures will be at 6 o'clock, the philosophy lectures. And the mathematical lecture will be at 8:15. So just 15 minutes change in both the lectures will be there from tomorrow. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.